Buckle in because it's gonna get bumpy. What the hell is this date? What did I get myself into? Why am I here right now? Why did I agree to do this? This person has been incarcerated. He left a girl when she was passed out. Dating life is an absolute shit show. Let me stop because this is so embarrassing. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video is going to be another story time. You guys seem to love my story times and I absolutely love creating them for you. But before we get started, I first wanted to say thank you guys. I have no words so freaking much for 1,000 subscribers. Like, my subscriber count has just skyrocketed in the past week and I just have no words. I am so thankful. It makes my heart so freaking happy to have all of you come along this journey with me. And I also want to say a sincere thank you to everybody who has been commenting such sweet and uplifting things on my videos. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. A couple months ago, my life was really not great and I was really depressed, and I was questioning, what am I here for? You know, what was I brought here to do? I feel like I don't know where I fit in this world, and I feel like I'm really finding my purpose as I keep making these videos, interacting with you guys and editing, and I don't know, I'm in a really good spot right now. So thank you guys so much. I am so thankful that so many people are resonating with my story, are just enjoying my content. So a sincere thank you to all of my new subscribers, all of my supporters, and for the love and support. So today's video is going to be, I figured we would do a little Valentine's Day themed video. I hope you guys appreciate the decor. This video is a video that I have done on my Instagram before. If you don't follow me on Instagram, what are you doing? Links are always in the description. I do so many stories on there. I interact with a lot of you guys. So go on there so we can interact more and just hang out and talk. I would really appreciate it. But I told this story on my Instagram stories, and I got so many requests to do a real video, a YouTube video on it. So here it is today. If you thought my dating life was bad before, I have a lot a lot of content coming up about how horrific it is. Wait until you guys hear about Adrian. Oh my god, you thought that Ryan was bad? Wait till you hear about Adrian. But we're not ready for that video just yet. So today's video, oh, okay, I guess it's already ready. You might want to get some wine. I'm gonna get some wine, just a little bit. Like I said, I got stuff to do later, but get your wine, get your snacks, get your popcorn, get a notepad on what not to do when you're looking for someone to date, because this is going to be an exact outline on what not to do. So if you would like to listen to this story time about my horrific dating life, then just keep on watching because I've got some good stuff for you. Also, before we get started, pause. Please subscribe to my podcast, The Millennial Empath. We are now on iHeartRadio, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, and we're on Buzzsprout. I'm going to leave the description down below as well. It's all about self-development, healing, self-care, self-love. We talk about a lot of stuff on there, so please go follow me on that if you would like to do so. I'd really appreciate it. And let's get started with today's shit show of a story time. So we are going to bring it back all the way to 2017, where Dakota was naive, not focused on what she should have been focused on, definitely insecure, desperate. Not where I should be in life, let's just say that. I was minding my business, scrolling on Instagram as one usually does when they're minding their business and not looking for someone to DM them. And I got a lovely DM from this boy, and we're gonna call him, he had two names. It was kind of like a Justin Bobby situation from the hills. So I can't use either. So we're gonna use a completely different name then. We're just gonna call him Jacob. God, I keep getting the same fucking questions. Oh my God, okay. If you really want to know. Oh wait, he follows me on Instagram. Sorry, I can't tell you guys. Just temporarily blocked him on my Instagram for 24 hours or whatever because I got literally 5 messages asking me to tell the story. So here we are. Jacob, yeah. This guy still follows me on Instagram to this day, so when I post my promotion of this video, I'm definitely gonna block him. I blocked him when I was telling the stories on my Instagram because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. These videos are never, ever, ever to hurt anybody's feelings. It's literally just for the purpose of entertainment, to make you guys laugh, to make myself laugh, for some self-reflection on how a girl has grown, because yeah, I am way in a different headspace now than I was back then. Jacob was a photographer, and I don't know what it is about a man, but when he has a passion that he is so like into and like infiltrated with, like it is so attractive to me. Like I don't care, it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. When you have a passion that you're so strong about and like just so into, it is just so attractive to me. And I think because like it just shows ambition, that they're like a go-getter and that they are like breaking societal norms because they're building up like a side business or a side hobby, and I just think it's so attractive. So he was a photographer and he was really talented. He still is. He has great work. I will never take that away from him. And I really just loved his profile, what he stood for. And he just seemed like a really cool guy. He also loved pizza, which I love pizza as well. So I just thought we would be a perfect match.
Stop it. Get some help.
So he DMs me one night because I was up way past my bedtime. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning because I used to have really bad insomnia. Since then, I have sorted that out. And he DMs me because he was also an insomniac too. So we both love pizza. We're both insomnias. Sign me up for you.
Stop it. Get some help.
Let me stop because this is so embarrassing. So he basically DMs me and we just start kind of talking. He's talking about his photography. He's saying what he does for like an actual job to pay like, you know, his bills while he's building up his side business. I'm talking about my life, and we are just having the best conversation ever. Like he had posted like a meme on Instagram that was like, I just want somebody that I can stay up with till 2 in the morning looking at the stars talking about life. And I was just like, me too. So in my mind, I thought this guy was like really deep. I thought he was like a hipster photographer that was like just really like into self-development and just like the universe. And I was just like, this is my perfect match. You can't tell me anything. This time I didn't even know his real name. His name on Instagram is not his real name. It's his nickname. So let's just start by saying that, okay? That's how low my radar was back then. Now my list is like longer than my body, so there's that. Start talking and exchanging words, and the conversation is going well, and the conversation ends up carrying on the next week. We just start talking every single day on Instagram until we are like, let's exchange numbers, because like we've been talking Instagram for quite some time. I've gotten to know you a little bit, you got to know me a little bit, let's exchange numbers. So we do so and continue our conversation on there. Now at this time, I was in a very low self-esteem state because I had just gotten out of my on and off toxic, terrible relationship with not Ryan. This was years after Ryan, with Adrian. And Adrian is an ex that I'm going to talk about in a later video when I feel like this channel is ready for it. But like, it just entails so much. It would have to be like a series about Adrian because he was just a horrible person, horrible human being. I don't know why. It was an experience nonetheless. But I just gotten out of like a really toxic on again, off again with my ex type of thing. So I definitely was like, I'm ready for another relationship. Meanwhile, my ass should have been sitting somewhere healing, but I wasn't doing that.
Just sat there and ate your food.
So my priorities were just all over the place, as you can already tell. So I already had the mindset of like, I'm ready to meet somebody that is like serious and ready to settle down and like is passionate about life. I was very much so in a point where I was like, I want to just like go and experience life. Like I'm tired of just like being bored all the time. This guy seemed like the perfect guy, and I found out that he actually lived fairly close to me. So I was like, this is perfect. This is going to be great. We continue to talk, and you know, we're getting to know each other so much, and he brings up that he would like to hang out. Now for me personally, I don't know about you guys, I've seen way too many episodes of CSI, I've watched way too many true crime videos. I am just the type of girl where I will not go to your house the first time I meet you because I don't know if you're gonna stash me away somewhere and I will be on a milk carton the next day. I said it in my last story time, I will say it again. I don't mess with that. So I always like for the first couple times to be in a public setting. I like to think I have good intuition, at least now. So I can tell if you're just going to be somebody that I don't potentially see myself with, and etc. So I decided that we would hang out, but I said, let's go somewhere because I'm not trying to go to your house. Now this is going to come up in a later thing in the video, but I had my own apartment and he had his own apartment, he said. Said that he had his own apartment, and I was like, oh my god, like this guy's independent, he's a go-getter, like this is a perfect match. Up until then I feel like I've dated like little boys in a sense of like they never have anything to their name, anything to them at all. They're not working on anything, they're just like living. And I wanted somebody that was like passionate and motivated about life so that I could kind of be in the same caliber as them. So I totally just thought this guy was checking like every single box. Bitch, if I only knew. So he said he had his own apartment and that he lived in the basement apartment, a finished basement apartment in his parents' house. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's, you know, it's detached from the house, like it's, you know, that's great. By the way, I don't judge anybody for where they live or what they do. I've literally dated people who live in the basement at their parents' house, like not finished or anything. I don't care about that. I will literally sit on a floor with you with no furniture, with like a bottle of water and rapping Biggie and Tupac. But like, I'm just saying, like, be real. If you're gonna say that you have something, don't lie about it, because that's when I look at you like you're crazy. Like, just be honest about your situation. I'm very accepting, I'm not judgmental, but don't lie about it. He said he had like a completely finished basement in his parents' house and it was completely secluded and he paid rent and XYZ, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is gonna be a good situation for me because like we both have our own places. We don't have to worry about our parents. Like, this is gonna be great. They don't always have to come to my house all the time because that's all that I ever dealt with. And I was ready just for something completely different. I thought this was it. Time goes on and we decide that we are gonna hang out one night, and we decide that we are gonna go to a restaurant and that he was gonna pick the restaurant. I was like, oh my god, even better. Like, he's taking initiative. Like, this is amazing. So we talk about how, like, you know, I'm like, do you want to meet there or do you want to like go in the same car? And he breaks it down for me that he actually doesn't have a car. And not only does he not have a car, but he doesn't have a license. And let me just say, this is my first time ever experiencing that. Anybody that I've ever dated has at least had a car, had a license. Okay, no, Ryan didn't have a license. He had a car though. A car that was always broken down, but he had a car. I'm seeing a very commonality pattern when I talk about the guys I used to date in the past. Oh my goodness. I want to give my past self a big hug right now. So he tells me he doesn't have a car and he also doesn't have a license either, and that he's in the process of getting it, but he got like a DUI and that it got taken away and all of this stuff. And that should have been a red flag for me right there. But of course me, like, Dora who? Like, do you see the red flag? Because I don't. So I was like, okay, no problem. And like I said before, he lived close to me, but he did not. He lived close to the town I used to live in that I also went to school in. So for me, I was just like, okay, like whatever. I go to that old town all the time. My dad lives there. I have family there. Like, it's cool. I tell him, no problem. I'll just come get you. Like, it's really not a big deal. Like, I just want to meet you and hang out with you. Like, I don't care about that. Like I said, I'm a very like giving and generous and understanding person. Like, I would never not date somebody because they don't have a car. Like, you don't know ever what anybody is going through in their life. You don't know if they don't have a car because they're paying for like their mother's medical bills or they're trying to help like a family member out. Like, you never know what someone's going through, and you could potentially miss out on a really good person because you're judging them by material things. And for me, it's like, I would rather look at who you are as a person, how your character and morality is, like how your heart is. For me, that's more important than material stuff. Like, if you're not with somebody during like their struggle time, I feel like you don't deserve them in their prime time, and that's just how I feel personally. So I looked past it because I thought that he had really good redeeming qualities outside of materialistic items that made me attracted to him. So it wasn't an issue for me to go pick him up. We decide a day and a time that we are going to hang out. Now I remember this day like it was yesterday because I woke up in the morning and I had work that day from like 9 to like 6:30, almost 7, and I was like, I don't want to go to work all day, have to come all the way back home, shower and get ready, go to pick up this guy, and then go on a date. So I was like, and also I wasn't really feeling good that day either. And if you know me, you know, like, I never clock out of work. If I'm clocking out of work, that means like my kidney is like, has just been ripped outside of my body or something. Like, I never call out of work. But this particular day I was like, you know what, no, I'm gonna take a day off because I deserve it. And I did some self-care, and it was great. So because I had so much time to casually kind of sit around, I begin thinking if this is a good decision. I start getting some weird sensations in my stomach. I start getting some weird feelings in my chest. And back then, knowing what I know now, that was probably my angels, spirit guides, God, everything in my body telling me to not go on this date because it was gonna be a disaster. And it fucking was, and it was, and it was. But I was like, oh no, I'm just, you know, the thing about me is that I used to not even date because I used to have really bad, I know it's hard to imagine, but I used to have really bad social anxiety. So I used to not ever go on dates. People would ask me, I either just wouldn't go, or I would just make up an excuse. But I really wanted to start getting myself out there after my ex because I was like, how am I ever going to meet somebody if I don't go out, you know? So I reluctantly proceed with this date. So I get ready, you know, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I take a nice shower, I pick out a cute outfit, and I go and pick, I'm not even gonna call him a man, this boy, I go and pick him up. Now, like I said, he lives near my old town, so that was already a half an hour away. So I'm driving a half an hour away to go pick him up. 15 minutes to go to the location. Afterwards, I'm gonna have to drive him back and then go all the way home. But guys do it for girls all the time. So like I said, I didn't mind picking him up. That wasn't the issue. That was not even the worst part of this whole date. Just buckle in because it's gonna get bumpy. So I tell him I'm on my way. I go and I grab him and he comes into my car. Now, as we're driving, we're just kind of talking, making small talk, kind of, you know, trying to get to know each other. He's telling me where to drive, etc. And as we're talking, I'm kind of realizing that he's a little bit cocky, and that is a major turnoff with me. Like, one of the biggest turnoff about men is if they're really cocky. There's a difference between being confident and being cocky, and I just can't stand that. I just feel like being humble is one of the most attractive traits in somebody, and I can't stand when they're trying to like talk themselves up to make them look like they're this amazing person instead of proving it with their actions. But I'm like, whatever, maybe he's just nervous. Like, sometimes when I'm nervous, I talk too much anyway. So I'm like, okay, maybe he just is a little bit nervous, whatever. We continue to drive. We get to the place, we park, and we go inside. Now, right away, another red flag. We walk in, and he knows the bartender automatically by name. They like dap each other up, and so I'm just looking around and I'm like, okay, great, I'm probably like girl number 3 of the week or something. Like, he knows him by name. It's not like they're like, oh, like, nice to see you again. It's like, yo, what's up? Like, they know each other very well, and I'm just like, okay, great, like, perfect. This is gonna be wonderful. Now, right away, I kind of noticed that he has a little bit of a drinking problem because he ordered about 3 whiskey shots within 5 minutes. Not normal, but go off. And as one does, usually on a first date, you talk and you get to know each other. So we're having casual conversation, again, kind of going off of what we talked about on text, about what we do, about what our goals were and what our ambitions are. And like I said, the really attractive thing about him was that he was in love with photography. He was in love with his craft. He was in love with what he did, and I just thought that that was really attractive. I don't know what it is when somebody has like a hobby or a passion that they are really just like all into. It shows me they have drive, it shows me they have ambition, and that was just a really attractive quality to me, in my opinion. So he's kind of talking about that, and at the time, I was a freelance makeup artist. Now, that was a very short-lived career choice for me because I love doing makeup. I love makeup so much. I eventually, let me know if you guys want me to start doing some tutorials on here because I would absolutely be down for that. But doing other people's makeup, like for a living, is just not something I could ever picture myself doing. I've done 2 bridal parties before and I will never do it again. It's a lot. You really have to have like the drive and the ambition, and that has to be like your dream in order to do it because it's a lot of hard work. Way too much than what the compensation is. But at the time, I was like a freelance makeup artist. I had like a couple pictures of some clients that I had on there. I had in my bio that I was like a freelancer. If anybody wanted me to do their makeup, like, here's my email, you know, stuff like that for promotion. And I remember we were just talking about like our crafts and stuff, and he goes on my Instagram and he's like,
you don't look like you're a makeup artist.
And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes,
well, no, I'm not saying like your makeup's not good. It's just you don't promote yourself enough.
And I said, well, yeah, because I'm a freelancer and I'm just starting. I'm not really like out there trying to make it a business just yet. I'm just kind of vibing and seeing what happens and like where it goes, because I'd have people like hitting me up once in a while to do their makeup, and then I would be like, okay, cool, and then they would like refer me to somebody else, or just word of mouth, like somebody would see my work on their face and want to book me. So I was just starting, but I wasn't trying to like promote myself to the point where it was like a full-time career, because I was just getting my feet wet, seeing if it was something that I wanted to do, because I'm kind of like an all-in or all-out type of person. So I was explaining that to him, and he's like, well, this girl that I follow, and he like pulls up like the search engine and types in a name. He's like,
yeah, you see this girl, like she has her work everywhere, like she's about it.
just like, okay, like I'm not clearly, but go off, cool. What was wrong with me in 2016, 17? I couldn't tell you. That was kind of like weird to me. And then he goes to his profile and he's like, where's my phone? Hey, like this is his phone. He's just going through Instagram. He's like, yeah, I always just really try to like interact with my followers, all my followers. Meanwhile, he had literally like over 1,000 maybe, which I'm not saying that's not a lot. I think that's a lot, but like, why are you acting as if like you're a Kardashian? Like relax. You are not Scott Disick, okay? That was like kind of weird. It kind of put me off a bit, but that, oh, if I only knew how much worse it was gonna get. It was a domino effect. We're casually having conversation, and you know, like I ordered a drink, he keeps ordering shots, and then he gets onto the topic of how he's been incarcerated, not only once, but multiple times, and he was almost permanently incarcerated. Let's just say that when he was incarcerated, he was going to do something to another inmate that would have caused him to stay there forever. I didn't ask for any of this. I literally was just sitting there trying to enjoy my dinner, and I'm getting told all of this. And so I'm just like, what do you say to that? What do you say to that? Like, what do you say to that? I don't, and I'm just like, oh, okay. The way that he was talking about these acts was as if he was saying that he was going to Target on a Saturday. Like, it was so nonchalant, so just dry and like out there. There was no like suspense leading up to it. It was just like, we're gonna lay it all out right here, right now. So after that, you know, I'm kind of starting to want to wind things down, because at this point I'm just turned all the way off about what I'm hearing, about the cockiness, about just everything. I'm getting bad vibes all the way around. So then, as we continue the date, he starts talking about how he, you know, the girls that he's dabbled with and things like that, past relationships, etc. And he goes on to tell me that one time he was on a date with a girl, and they were at the beach, and they were strolling along the beach, and they were talking, and they were, you know, just having casual conversation, and they got to kissing. They started kissing a bit, and out of nowhere, she passes out. I don't know why she passed out. I don't know if they were like drinking or something. I have no idea, but she passes out right in front of him, and instead of like, you know, calling for help or calling her parents or trying to do anything, he left. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing because like, what the hell is this date? What did I get myself into? Why am I here right now? Why did I agree to do this? Like, this person has been incarcerated. He left a girl when she was passed out. It was probably in this moment that I'm looking at the big man upstairs and I'm asking what I ever did in the past lifetime or this current one to deserve this. Like, I don't understand what I ever did to deserve a date like this. He just kept ordering more drinks, and he like ordered me a shot, and I do not like dark liquor. I don't like, oh, like Douce is disgusting, Hennessy is disgusting. I'm like a tequila or wine type of girl. I don't drink vodka, like just like, you know, tequila or wine. That's what I like. But he was like a dark liquor, like Hennessy, whiskey type of person, and I'm just like, oh God. So he ordered me a shot. Obviously I took it because hello, like he paid for it. I'm not gonna not take it. And yeah, so at this point I go to the bathroom because I need to gather myself and figure out how the hell I'm gonna get out of this. So I go to the bathroom, I get myself together, and then I come to the terrible realization that I drove this man here. I can't go home. I can't leave him here because I drove. And just a little PSA, on the first date, do not have them pick you up at your house. Do not pick them up at their house. Meet. And if they cannot meet, then you can't go. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's all of these other driving sources. They can get a ride from a friend. Like, do not do that, because I was stuck there with him and I wasn't just gonna leave him there because it's not in my moral compass. So I had to take him home. So I come out of the bathroom, we talk for a bit more, and I kind of start leaning towards the idea of us leaving, because I'm done at this point. Like, I've heard enough, I've seen enough. I want to go home, get back into my bed, watch true crime videos, and pretend that this whole night never existed. So to also segue into even worse details, he tells me that he does not have his license because he got a DUI, but also because he's crashed multiple cars. Not just one, not just two, not just three. And that's why he doesn't have a car and a license, so there's that. And like I said, obviously I couldn't leave him there because I drove him. So my idea is, okay, let's get into the car, let's go to the house, I'll drop you off, and then like I said, I could pretend this whole night never even happened. I will say that besides the incarceration, the car crashes, him leaving the girl on the date, that we had good conversation. Besides all of that, like, we had good conversation. He's not a bad person, like, he's pretty cool. It's just like, these are not things that you talk about on a first date. And you also don't leave people when they pass out. Like, that's just not something that you do. And I will say that he did at least pay for the dinner, so at least I didn't have to go through that and pay for my own meal, because I feel like I deserved emotional compensation for what I witnessed and what I heard. We get in the car and we're just like talking, and he's like, you know, like bringing up the idea of us hanging out and after this, and I don't know what is wrong with me or why I agreed to it. Like I said, I wanted to be in home in my bed watching true crime, pretending this night never happened. But I could lie and say in this story that I did that, but I'm not a liar, and these stories are, unfortunately, I wish I could make them up, but I can't. They're actually true. So unfortunately, I have to tell you guys that I did end up going to his house with him just to hang out, just to hang out. That was literally it. I was like, you know, okay, like maybe like I didn't give him a fair enough chance, or like maybe I didn't, like maybe he's just troubled and maybe I could like just fix him.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like I said, 2017 Dakota versus now, like two different regions, literally. I end up going to his house and I parked the car and I'm like, okay, I told him, I was like, I'm just gonna stay for like an hour and then I really have to go. I have work in the morning. And that was the truth. I was not lying about that. We get to his house, and remember, I told you guys in the beginning of this video that he said that he had a finished basement apartment and that he paid rent there, etc. So the cherry on top of this awful date was we go downstairs into this finished basement apartment. And like I said, I don't judge anybody for the living situation, what they do for a living, what kind of car they drive. Never am I like that. I am not a materialistic person whatsoever. But like I said, don't lie. If you're going to say that you have a finished basement apartment and this, and that, like own up to that. Like live that. Don't lie about it. We go downstairs and it is just a basement. It's any old basement, like the basement that I have downstairs in this house right here. It's just a basement. There's no anything in there that would insinuate that this thing was finished. It was literally just a basement. That was it. There wasn't even a bathroom down there. So if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to walk up the stairs. Like I could understand if maybe you had like a bathroom and like a bedroom or like maybe like a stove or something. I would be like, okay, like yeah, like that makes sense. Like there's appliances down here. It was just a basement with a bed and a desk for his computer. That was it. And I'm just really like, again, looking up, like why? Like what did I ever do? I'm filming. What did I ever do to deserve this? I don't understand. What? I must have done something horrible in my past life to have a date like this. Like so I must have TP'd somebody's house, or I must have vandalized somebody's car. Like something had to have happened for me to have to go through this, because I don't get it. And to end the perfect night with the perfect person, I then see a cockroach walking across the floor, and that was my cue to go.
Because today, tomorrow,
yes,
the next day,
and
them days after that,
period.
you probably had the right idea,
Right.
but the wrong bitch.
Hello.
Like I said, I don't judge anybody for what their living situation is or anything like that. But if he would have told me that he just lived in the basement, I would have been fine with that. I still probably would have hung out. But it's the fact that he lied about it. Like, have some integrity. Like, own your shit, you know? I don't understand that. So needless to say, I left there and We didn't talk after that. I left, I said goodbye, I said thank you for dinner, and we did not speak. I think that we spoke maybe like 2 months later, and then we were talking, and he was like, I think he was just like checking in on me to catch up, and he's like, you ghosted me. And I was like, how did I ghost you? And he's like, well, you didn't text me after our date. And I'm like, phone works both ways. But if I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't have responded. Like I said, this is not in any way, shape, or form trying to make his character look bad. I don't think he's a bad person. I just think that he needs to realize that, number one, don't be so freaking cocky. That's a major turnoff. And number two, own your stuff. And also, don't leave people when they pass out when you're on a date with them. Like, that is just, I have no words. That deserves a whole other story time within itself. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys some advice. Number one, if you're going out on a date with a guy, make sure it's a public setting. At least I got that right. Number two, make sure that you guys meet there and that you're not bringing them there or taking them home, because if you need to leave and you need one of your friends to call you, SOS, girl, get out of there, you at least have the opportunity to like sneak through the bathroom window and go to your car and then never speak to them again. And the last moral of the story is catch up on the red flags, because I was not doing that, and I could have totally prevented myself from this whole experience if I had just listened to my intuition, but it made for a fantastic story time. By the way, I think I named him Jacob, but I never ended up using his name, his fake name throughout this whole story. But if you are Jacob and you are watching this, hi. I'm not doing this story to make you look bad. I'm not doing this story in any way to offend you. It's just funny. It's entertainment. It was years ago. We can both laugh at it now. I hope you're doing well. Your photography is amazing. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna block him on my Instagram when I promote this video, because I don't want him to see it. I just don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. It's just for entertainment purposes. Alright guys, that's it for today's story time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to, and also turn your post notifications on by clicking the bell icon in the corner. That way you're notified every single time I upload a video. Also, please consider subscribing to my podcast, The Millennial Empath. We talk about a ton of stuff on there. It's a really great podcast if you guys are looking to develop yourself, infiltrate more self-love, or just talk about really cool topics that are really interesting to hear about. We are live on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple. I'll put all links in the description. Again, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting me in this channel. It just means the absolute world to me. Let me know down below if you guys want more story times, because like I said, I have a folder in my phone full of ideas that I would love to put out there for you guys. So just let me know. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.